Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all the latest NBA news. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So for those of you who haven't heard, it looks like the New York Knicks are actually prepared and ready to offer Brandon Ingram a max contract. And yes, I said max contract. So that is obviously very, very interesting, and I really just don't know if they should do this, but again, I really don't know what the Knicks necessarily have. They have quite an interesting list. I mean, their list is not exact. It's just got full of a bunch of veterans at this point that aren't really good without a star or two on their team, which obviously the Knicks don't have. I think that some Knicks fans thought there could have been glimpses that these, pieces could have worked together, but it just obviously has not worked out well at all, and a lot of them are going to be available on the trade deadline, and it almost, wonders to me if the Knicks have such a big idea of wanting to offer Brandon Ingram a max in the offseason. Maybe the New Orleans Pelicans might consider even trading him if they're not confident that he will re-sign. They might trade him to the New York Knicks, who really knows? Maybe they could try and trade for Julius Randle back. That would be pretty funny to see, but I extremely doubt that would happen. But let's look at their top three scorers. They got Marcus Morris at 19, Julius Randle at 17, RJ Barrett at 14, and then the list goes down from there. There are a lot of teams that have their starting five all scoring more than 10 to 12 points per game. The Knicks only have three of their starting five scoring more than 10 a game, and then the list gets very, very short from there, and doesn't look exactly to be the prettiest list that you will potentially see. Well, if you look on the New Orleans Pelicans, I believe that there's a couple of things that are going on, and obviously Brandon Ingram, I believe, is actually having a pretty decent season, just based on the fact that I'm pretty sure he's averaging career high numbers, and yeah, he is. He's averaging 24.9 points per game, 7 rebounds on 4 assists per game, and the year before that he was averaging 18.3 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, and 3 assists. So obviously, his numbers have gone up quite a bit, but this is where it gets pretty funny. Obviously, even though he's putting up these incredible numbers, it's not like the New Orleans Pelicans are winning at all. They're not exactly winning games at all. They're not doing anything very special. So if the Knicks did offer Brandon Ingram a contract, obviously they'd be so much better next year, but I don't really feel like they would be insanely better, like to the point where, they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're currently 30th in the NBA right now with a 4-19 record. Who knows, that record might go up, obviously, a couple of wins, and they might be a more consistent team throughout the year, but that's just not what the only thing they need to win is, obviously. There's also talks, and I'll get into this as well. There's also talks, I believe, they might be targeting DeMar DeRozan when when maybe the trade deadline comes up, or when free agency happens. Obviously, I genuinely believe they will have quite a decent amount of cap again. Obviously, Julius Randle is clogging up quite a decent amount of cap, but I believe they'll trade quite a bit of these players away, maybe even try and trade Julius Randle, and they'll get quite a bit of cap, and I genuinely believe they might even go after DeMar DeRozan and Brandon Ingram, obviously, when it does come. Now, I don't really think I've seen any rumors that they will necessarily target DeMar DeRozan, but I genuinely believe there probably is interest there, and when you always look at all these pictures and things, that the Knicks are expected to target a big free agent, you notice all the big social media and big news pages, they always use DeMar DeRozan as the main player, and I really think the reason why this is the case is I genuinely think he is a player that would potentially go to the Knicks, just based on the fact that I don't think he wants to be in the Western Conference. I think he genuinely wants to go to the Eastern Conference, so I think that would obviously be an interesting place that DeMar could potentially go to. And obviously, I don't think DeMar is necessarily worth more than $30 million a year anymore. Who knows? They could potentially get him on like $25 million. They could also potentially get Brandon Ingram on like a $25 million as well. Now, the interesting thing as well is I don't think Brandon Ingram is necessarily worth a max yet. I mean, yes, he's playing very good, but that's because he's clearly the number one option on the team. And if you were to add him to the Knicks team, who would potentially have RJ Barrett, whoever they take in this year's draft, which most likely would probably, for the Knicks fans, they would hope that it'd be maybe a top 3 player, but again, they could lose the lottery. That player, I guess, and, DeMar DeRozan, points I feel like will be a bit more harder to come by, considering there isn't exactly too many scoring options on the New Orleans Pelicans. While if you join the Knicks, I feel like they do have a couple more scoring options. They have RJ Barrett, they might have DeMar DeRozan, they might have that pick/player, and if they have Julius Randle, they might have him as well. While for the New Orleans Pelicans, the only other scoring option is really like Drew Holiday and potentially JJ Redick. So again, I really don't know what's going to happen there. I feel like he might be worth close to a max, such as 25 to 28 million a year, but I feel like if the Knicks did want to get him, they could put him on a contract that starts on like maybe a 4-year contract. Starts on 25 million, and then on the last year it maybe goes up to like 32 million or something like that. I really don't know how they would kind of put it all out, but if the Knicks are going to target a big free agent as well when it comes to the deadline and the free agency period, I genuinely believe it could be DeMar DeRozan. So I'm just going to say, Knicks, I think they definitely have interest in DeMar DeRozan. I feel like they will have overlooked this all before, and I think it'll only be a day or two that it proves this fact, but there are a lot of people already saying right now that the Knicks do have interest in DeMar DeRozan. It's just not really 100% confirmed yet, but at this point, I feel like the Knicks definitely would, and yeah, it obviously is confirmed now that it looks like they are considering offering a max to Brandon Ingram, which I think is pretty interesting. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think the New York Knicks should offer Brandon Ingram a max? Do you guys think they should try and trade for DeMar DeRozan, or try and sign him in free agency? I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions down below. And also don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/long channels. The links for them are also in the description down below. So make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.